Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be covering the Jeff Saturday debut at head coach. As you all know, last week Frank Reich was fired as the head coach of the Colts, rightfully so. And controversially, Jeff Saturday was hired as the interim head coach, and a lot of people had a lot to say about that topic. Uh,
Including myself. I just want to say that it's it blows my mind that a guy who with no ties to the current coaching staff gets hired. That'd be like me being hired on as like my old college team. Like I have no coaching experience. I've played. I feel like I could do a decent job at coaching, but I would be definitely out of my element if I coached my old college team.
I definitely think somebody like Jeff Saturday, who has proven himself in the league, proven that he has the grit to play in this league. A lot of players respect coaches who formerly played in the league because they know that those coaches know what it has, know what it takes to play in this league.
Hmm.
Uh, it is one of those things where it's like if it pans out, great, but if it doesn't, it's like, what are you doing hiring a guy with no freaking experience as your new head coach?
And a ton of people have already made their statements on it and statements that are, valid on either side, pro and con hiring Jeff Saturday. Um, I think I don't remember who said it, but somebody hit the nail on the head. Like it is extremely disrespectful to the guys that are in that organization that have bled for that team, that current Indianapolis Colts team, to be passed over by a guy on the streets. I don't
I agree.
know, like they don't have stellar head coaches there. They have John Fox and Gus Bradley, who don't really have who haven't had recent success. But they're still like I would definitely choose John Fox or Gus Bradley over you know the center who played for us 10 years ago.
And we're talking interim. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
this is going to be the permanent head coach. We're just talking interim. You're telling me John Fox couldn't have just been an interim head coach for a team that already sucks?
Hmm.
Probably.
No,
I just
what's the reason behind hiring Jeff Saturday?
it
Like,
has to be, the same reason probably behind most of these coaches being hired. Let's be real here. It's some form of nepotism. He knows
yeah, but
somebody
he's not
higher up.
he doesn't have any ties to the organization. That's what I'm saying. Like he
Aren't him and
wasn't.
Jim Irsay friends?
I guess that isn't nepotism, but it kind of is. I can see what you're saying now, but like
Like
them
more or
drinking
less
buddies.
just you know somebody, and because you know friends in high places, they get you good jobs, and I think that's kind of an example of this. And some of the tweets, I don't know if you saw. So to fast forward a little bit, Colts played the Raiders this weekend.
Mhm.
Jeff Saturday wins his debut.
That's
Yes, the Raiders suck, but so do the Colts. I mean, so do the Colts. They suck too. And hey, they got to win. And Jim Irsay basically tweeted, I think it was the next morning, something along the lines, and this is paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of like, "Who you crapping? Just win, baby," or like literally, that's what he said.
such a frat boy. He's such a
Oh God, yeah, the guy that never grew up.
Yeah.
But somehow is worth billions of dollars. But you definitely get a sense just from that tweet that it's like, okay, you're defensive about this hire. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're not really sitting here like talking about the win. You're talking about like, I hired Jeff Saturday and we won. That's all that matters. Damn it.
And
Okay, I get it, but
I imagine if they go winless the rest of the year, he'll still be proud of that hire. Like, oh,
yeah,
he won one game and it was his first game, and
yeah. Who are you crapping, right? No,
yeah.
but I think I don't know if that's necessarily a highlight of the Colts winning under Jeff Saturday or more a highlight of just how dysfunctionally bad the Raiders are.
The So the best thing Jeff Saturday did was reinstate Matt Ryan as the starting quarterback.
I'll
I
agree with
feel
that.
like if Sam Ellinger went out there, they would have lost. But as I said, Jeff Saturday has zero clue of how that offense was running over a week ago. He comes in and is in charge of everything, and I guarantee you, he delegated. He didn't
Oh
say,
God,
"Okay,
yeah.
we're gonna come in and change, this." He delegated it to whoever the offensive coordinator was and Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has been running that system since he got there, so he knows it he knows it.
Yeah.
Um, with that being said, the dude, how do you get out coached by Jeff Saturday if you're Josh McDaniels? Like, what the hell is going on? How
I
are you
don't know.
still a head coach? As of what's today? Tuesday?
Yeah,
He
well,
hasn't
no,
been fired yet. If he
no,
gets
he's
fired
been
later today,
guaranteed, didn't you see?
say
Mark Davis assured Josh McDaniels that he will be back for the 2023 season.
no,
Yeah,
no, no. You
he's been
cannot do
assured.
that.
Like I don't know. Maybe they're thinking first year jitters. Maybe and I hope. Not necessarily saying that he's a top 15 guy and whatnot. Maybe he is. I guess you could make the argument. But I hope that the blame isn't going to get put on Derek Carr because I don't really think this team is Derek Carr's fault. Yes, could he be playing better at times? I'm sure. Could he be making some key plays down the stretch because they keep choking games? Is really the fact of the matter. I'm sure he can, but this is clearly falling on McDaniels, and I'm just worried that maybe Davis and the Raiders front office won't see it that way. It would be some form of comedy, maybe dark comedy, if Davante Adams leaves, go to the Raiders, and then they cut Derek Carr. I mean, can you imagine how Davante would feel? Like, good lord.
That it's very possible that they cut ties with Derek Carr. They should
I don't know
cut
how many
ties
years
with
he's on contract. Probably at least
Carr.
like 2 years, right?
He's coming up on the end of his contract, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so I don't know if they can get any trade value for him, but
Who would trade for Derek Carr?
I'm
Carolina.
sure there's a few
They
teams.
love trading for has-beens.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, maybe a team like I don't know, the Saints seem kind of high on Jameis. I mean, there's some teams in the league that I could see him going to and kind of fitting in. I mean, hell, maybe the Jets. I mean, imagine him on the
Green
Jets. If Zach
Bay,
Wilson
maybe.
doesn't pan out.
Green Bay, maybe.
Oh God, get out of here. So one guy that definitely has a lot of beef, I guess you could say, with this hiring is Joe Thomas. I don't know if it was on Fox or CBS or one of those channels,
NFL
but
Network or something like that.
yeah, NFL Network. He got on. I think it was before the Germany game. And he's basically going on a rant about how it's insulting to any other head coach in the league that's put all this time and effort in, only for this guy to just come off the street and get hired, yada yada yada. And I get where he's coming from. I understand. I think it does take a lot of time and effort to be an NFL coach. And it takes a lot of time and effort to be an NFL player, though, if we're being real here. I wouldn't necessarily say that I think coaches probably put in more time if we're counting hours here, but I definitely wouldn't say that an ex NFL player of, Jeff Saturday's caliber of 10 years, I wouldn't question his work ethic. I'm sure Saturday has what it takes to work long hours, just like all NFL players do. But I thought it was interesting on how much of a problem Joe Thomas had with that, considering Pat McAfee pulled out some old clips of Joe Thomas basically saying, "Hey, I wouldn't mind throwing my hat in the ring to be, the interim head coach of the Cleveland Browns." Back, I think, whenever they fired either Kitchens or Jackson, who knows? They've gone through so many head coaches at this point. But it was interesting that either that slipped Joe Thomas's mind, maybe he was a little hypocritical. It just seemed odd that he was so adamantly against it. And then it's like you rewind the tape, it's like, dude, you yourself are an ex-lineman who wanted to be a head coach with no experience.
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate here and just say like he could have been joking, or maybe he was. And I don't know the entire history of Joe Thomas and the Browns. He may have been a part of the organization after he retired. Maybe he was the offensive line coach or helped out somewhere. Maybe he was on the staff physically, contractually, he was on the staff. And I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate, but also a lot can change in the 3 or 4 years he's been retired. So maybe he did want to coach. And now after, a year or two of being out, 3 years of being out, he's like, man, I decided to hang with my kids instead. I'd rather relax and be stress-free in retirement than, stress for
that.
70 hours a week.
Well, and I get that. I get that you have a change of heart and whatnot. But the thing that irks me, I guess, is like, okay, maybe you've had a change of heart. Maybe you think that way. But there was a time where you didn't. And for you to be so adamantly, like, the way he was talking is that, like, Jeff Saturday should be embarrassed for accepting this job, almost, is how he was coming off. And it's like,
Yeah, he
dude,
said Jeff Saturday's not at fault either for accepting the job, for having no.
I thought I saw something during that thing. He was basically saying Jeff Saturday should have declined the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I get maybe now your mind has changed and head coaches need experience, this, that, and the other. But for you to be, for you to pretend that this is just an egregious thing for Jeff Saturday to want when you've been in that same boat before, that doesn't really rub the right way with me.
So disregarding that, let's focus on what he said. Do you agree with what he said?
I do. I think, again, there's bits and pieces that I agree with and don't agree with. I agree with the part where, hiring somebody with no coaching experience to be a head coach of an NFL team is insane. So I agree with that part. But, like I said, the part I don't agree with is the whole work ethic thing, going into how coaches, they don't spend any time with their families, this, that, and the other. A lot of NFL players don't either, dude. A lot of
Yeah.
NFL players are at practice every day, on the road every other week.
And not everybody can have a good relationship with their family like you, Joe Thomas.
Aaron
Look at
Rodgers
Tom Brady. Look at Aaron
has
Rodgers. They
family.
don't have families.
Yeah, they know what it takes for the dedication because they don't care about their family. But um, I don't know. That part that rubbed me the wrong way because I think Jeff Saturday. I don't think Jeff Saturday is going to get in this job and half-ass it. I think he'll try as hard as he can. I think he'll go full bore. If he'll be any good, who knows? Probably not. I mean, one thing is he's coming in halfway through the season, not even halfway, over the halfway hump, in the middle of a week. I guarantee you, he barely even knew a single play when he was out there this weekend. I mean,
Yeah, I guarantee he delegated. Like I said, he delegated everything to everybody else, which basically just makes him a figurehead.
you're right, exactly.
He's just all he does is have that title and gets the camera following him around every play of the game.
It's a tough hire because I want to say you don't know how it'll pan out. I think everybody probably has an idea of how it'll pan out. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, and here's the thing too, if this does succeed, you're probably going to see a lot more people taking chances on this.
Oh man. If it does this, if this by some miracle does succeed and they end up winning, Jeff said it ends up winning more games than he loses, and they make the postseason miraculously. This is a fluke. This will not happen for any other team. He has the advantage of being in one of the worst divisions in the NFL, and yeah, I don't see this happening again. And if it does happen again, it won't have this. It won't have any success. I seriously doubt it.
I'm kind of with you there. Well, that's all I got. Good luck, Jeff.